Evening, guys. We're back. Welcome back to episode 58, our last episode of the year. First of all, hope you all had a good Christmas, all had a good festive period. Of course, best wishes to everyone in the new year. Another year of watching Rovers doing this. Hopefully, it's going to be better because, I'm sure most of you are now pretty much fed up. But yeah, we got Ben Gill in the comments. Shout out to Ben, Chris as well, Chris Collier. We got Matt Bray as well, and Gashead as well, saying very excited tomorrow. Fallen Blue evening, lads. Happy New Year. Are we ready for a 2025 Spanish Armada dogfight? I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really ready, to be honest. But as always, if you're watching back or watching live right now, leave a like, subscribe, leave your comments. Of course, leave your score predictions of Exeter. Leave your score predictions of Leyton Orient and Cambridge down in the comments, because we're also going to be talking about the Cambridge one in this just because of the quick turnaround. So we'll do what we did for the last episode as well. But yeah, leave a like. Thank you to everyone for the amazing support in 2024. Thanks for putting up with us. Thanks for putting up with me with the videos, reactions. Thanks to Josh and Neil. As always, hope you've all enjoyed it. Please, show us the love, and yeah, just thank you for all the support throughout the year, even though it's been absolutely horrendous. But yeah, we got Josh and Neil with us. Josh, how are you? Good Christmas and everything?
Yeah, good, mate. It was nice. Obviously I live in Wales, so I had to travel back down to Bristol a couple of times, but yeah, it was nice. It felt very much like, I don't know, Christmas was going like really, really well, and I was really positive on that Boxing Day when we went away to Exeter.
Yeah.
And then obviously capitulated 3-1, but yeah, it was good, man. It was nice. It was felt really chilled, and that's what I needed this time round, actually.
Yeah, 100%. And Neil, what about you? How was your Christmas? All good?
Yeah, mate. Blinding. Everyone's happy. Everyone's healthy.
That's all that matters, isn't it? That's all that matters. But yeah, like I said, thanks to everyone. Yeah, for the support. Hopefully you can keep it up during 2025. Yeah, the support has been crazy, and thanks to everyone for being a part of it and showing all your support. Whether it's liking, whether it's sharing, whether it's you leave a comment, whether you leave a comment on the socials, everything. So yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, we'll get into it. Plenty to get into. Obviously, back to back defeats. Calderón was appointed when I was nearly at the Exeter ground. That was a bit mad. Appointed it there, of course. Yeah, there's been a lot of madness going on. But we'll start off with, let's just do a quick, this won't take long because it's been so awful, but I just want to get your quick thoughts on, the year of 2024. Obviously, I'm sure most of you have seen the post that I put out on the socials yesterday. Even Joey wanted to quote tweet it and talk about the owners and stuff, but I'm sure most of you have seen it. If you haven't, 53 games, 13 wins, 10 draws, 30 losses, minus 41 goal difference, conceded 90 goals. Only, and shout out to BRC Jacob for this, only Rotherham and Burton have scored less goals, and only 8 teams in the whole of the EFL have less points than us. But yeah, Josh, quick thoughts on 2024, sum it up.
Horrendous. Like it has been awful. Let's be honest. It's what did you say? 15 wins.
13.
Do you know what I mean? 13 victories.
Yeah,
it is awful, and it's I was going to say borderline laughable, but I actually do think it is just laughable, to be honest.
Yeah, because if you laugh, you just basically be angry.
You have to try and laugh. Yeah, I mean, oh mate, I just absolutely terrible. We are horrendous. That 90 goals conceded is also as well. I actually in my brain think it was more than that, because it also outlines how many Messi scored in that year when he scored over 90. It must be like it's ridiculous. I mean, that is absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, it's been mad, and also the fact that in pretty much half of those games or near just under half of those games we've not scored in either. I think it's 23 of those 53 games we've not scored in either. So, yeah, that just sums us up what's happening right now, and obviously what's happened in the recent year. Obviously, you go back to that awful when we was under Taylor and he broke the record of last year. When what was it, 7 or 8 games?
7 in a row, yeah.
So it's been absolutely awful. Neil, how do you sum up 2024? Pretty much the same thoughts, I should imagine.
Yeah, it's been a nosedive, isn't it? It's been a complete nosedive. Remember when we were talking about that calendar year under Joey, when like we'd gone all them games without losing? We'd only lost so many in a calendar year and that. And like, I know the club will talk about, we're in a phase of transition with manager and owners now, but it's been a nosedive, isn't it?
I mean, he put a tweet out earlier that said, it's called the Barton effect. I turn losers into winners, I think he said. And
I'll take him with a pinch of salt. Like, Joey's looking for a reaction, isn't he?
Joey's, of course. But he put a screenshot of the year that he was in charge, and Rovers were 14th out of the 92. Instead of 82nd. So, yeah, I mean that those years. I mean, I can't stand the bloke, but those years of actually like winning games feels so far away now.
Yeah,
you got to take the division into context as well.
Yeah, of course.
Like, there's that to contend with, but ultimately, as far as a feel-good factor, and I know people will say like there was a divide and this, that, and the other. Yeah, but that team were killer, weren't they? Like, that team was killer. Like, everyone went up and down the country, knew what you knew it was going to be chaos in the final third. It was just decent, wasn't it? But yeah, it's been a nosedive, and they've stanked the gap out, haven't they, for a full year?
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's the only good season we've had in like the last 5 years? Because I'm sure most of you have seen those stats. I think it's now 102 losses in 5 seasons, which is ridiculous.
Behind Shrewsbury or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah. It's pretty much ridiculous, to be honest.
It's so sad that we had to drop down a league to have a good season as well.
Yeah, I mean, it always happens. Like most of you know, I think it's only once in like 20 years or something that we've actually finished 12th or above in League One. Like,
wait, what was the stat you told me when we went to the Gas a couple of weeks ago when you sat with me? You said every third season.
Yeah, every third season we've been in League One, we get relegated.
Every third season in League One, we go down.
Yeah,
and this is the third season.
This is the third season, yeah.
Yeah, every time we roll around to August, what's everyone saying about league position?
Fair. I'm that guy.
Yeah, but to be fair,
there's plenty of them. Do you know what I mean? Like I said at the start of it, when we had a massive turnover and all the rest of it, don't get excited by volume if the quality doesn't sit with it.
Yeah. It's all a madness. When's it going to end, Robbie? Yeah, trust me. But we sorted our manager situation out. Yeah, we have, but even then it's going to be... I mean, we'll quickly get into that first, because obviously he was appointed before the Exeter game. We talked about it, majority of our last episode, but now he's been appointed. Now, people have seen interviews and stuff like that. Josh, what are your thoughts on it? Because I know we'll get into the Stevenage and Exeter games, but even by looking at both of those games, but especially the Stevenage game, his first game in charge, it looks like it's going to be a uphill task with Calderón in charge, like no matter who we've got.
Yeah, I saw a lot of tweets saying he didn't know what he was signing up for. 100% he did. He's not blind. He can read a table and he can read a chart statistic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it might have been just a moment of realization of, hang on a minute, like this is like individual clangers as well as, poor team quality. He's got a massive uphill battle. I will just come out on camera now and say that I do not think that we're going to go down. Just getting it out there. But I reckon it will be a little bit closer than people think, because you've got someone like an Ainsworth at the helm at Shrewsbury. He's going to get you points. Weird results as well. The teams that he shouldn't be beating, he will go and get a win. You've also got Crawley, who slap net. They might concede for, but they also score for. So the one thing that is always ringing in my head though is when Neil said a couple of months ago, you're relying on 4 teams to be worse than you.
Yeah,
and
that's what I mean. When you're starting to rely on,
there we go,
even on the weekend.
And over the last 5 games, or 5 or 6 games, we've been bottom of the pile. So I do think there is quality in this team. Like I don't know how you can take a Soteriou, a Hutchinson, a Ford, these types of players, what they were producing last season, and Martin, but obviously he was with us, and they just don't do it. I don't know. It doesn't make sense in my brain. They obviously have quality. I don't know what's going on. I do not know what is going on, but I don't think we'll go down. But again, he has a humongous job on his hands. Absolutely gargantuan.
Yeah. What gives you the little bit of optimism or confidence that we won't go down? Just because you think there's 4 worse teams than us?
Yeah, blind faith as well, but also the fact that the players that we have signed, I still believe are actually good quality. I mean, Hutchinson, 27 goal contributions last season. Shaq Ford looks on his day electric. Soteriou, I do think he will come good at some point. I think he has been bad, but he's also been a little bit mishandled, I think. Yeah. These players have quality. Surely they can produce something, and with a bit of fine tuning, a bit of coaching, I don't think we will go down. When you sign 60 new players, I know it's a lot of players, but the players we did sign, we're not signing them and people are saying, right, that's relegation fodder. That isn't the case. It's just a bit of fine tuning here and there. I mean, we've got players like Taylor Moore and Lino Sousa on loan from Aston Villa. Like, we've got good players, but the issue is maybe there is an underperformance as well, because I heard someone say the other day, how is Jake Garrett not starting? But I've also said, well, when he has played, he hasn't been great. So they are underperforming. My only thing is, some of the time, quite a lot of the time, the players themselves don't really look like they care that much. Yeah. And if to stay up, you need to give a shit, basically. So to answer your question, really, why do I think we'll stay up? It is just a bit of blind faith and hoping that those numbers last season weren't false from these individual players.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Neil, what's your, first of all, now Calderón's appointed, what's your thoughts on him? And also, going into the second half of the season, what's your thoughts on how worried are you?
I mean, on the Calderón thing, like I said, I think it's the best route to go down, considering what we've done previously. I think it's an unknown quantity. It's a roll of the dice. It's something different. And if you look at the way football's sort of evolving, these continental coaches are blowing British coaches out the water at the minute. They just are. Like, if you look at the leagues and the success of things, like, rightly or wrongly, British coaches aren't pulling up trees. And we could have easily gone down the merry-go-round of bringing in a League One coach that's been round the block, done it multiple times, but it's just treading water, isn't it? I think it's a right direction to go in. But like I said previously, you've got to let the bloke do his job. If he's got a plan in his head and the way he wants to operate, you've got to let him do it. Yeah. If you're going to start putting restrictions on him, if you're going to start going down the interference road, I'm not saying they will do, but like I said, it seems evident that was the case previously. You got to give the bloke the keys and let him do what he needs to do. So I haven't got an issue with the Calderón thing. I'm all for it. Regarding relegation, look, we've had an absolutely horrific year on the pitch. Off the pitch hasn't been wonderful either. But there's 20 odd games left. There's loads and loads of times for him to get a tune out of this lot. Like, and granted, he's gonna have some that he's not having one bit, and he's gonna probably bring in some in January to help us over the line to get done what he wants to, at where he wants us to get us to. But what we can't do is just assume that because of the players we've got and because of what sits in the bottom 4 at the minute, that is what it's going to be for the next half of the season. There's going to be fluctuations all over the place. there's going to be a side sat in the middle of League One at the minute that is going to nosedive, and there's going to be a side sat in that top four that is going to be more than comfortable, more than likely, come May. So there's loads of fluctuation to go on. The bloke's got loads. He wouldn't have taken the job if he didn't believe that, I've got loads of time to turn this around and get a tune out of these lads. He's assessed what he's got in the building. He's had a conversation with what is upstairs, and all you can do is take that on face value and hope that they're going to deliver what they've said they're going to deliver for him. So I expect there will be some movement in January, not loads. And I don't think even if you had the opportunity to do loads, it wouldn't bode well. I don't think you can do that to a squad. I think you need to just drip feed a little bit here and there to give it a bit of a G up rather than absolutely try and turn it round massively. But as far as concerns and worries, not really at the minute. We've got too much time on our hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Ben saying best thing about our club is the fans at home. We have been great. Dan was saying going through the motions, turn up Leisure Boost, get paid. Other than that, they certainly don't seem to be fighting. Yeah, it's not been good, but for me, I've already said I'm happy with the Calderón, appointment. We already mentioned on the last episode. Obviously, I talked about a little bit in the Exeter reaction as well about it. It's just, like for me, obviously, it is really worrying. You try and have, you try and be confident and optimistic, like I've done for a long time. But at the moment, it's not looking good. Like you both said, there's still a long time to go. But I just think the longer it goes, the more sort of the nerves start creeping in. The more fans, games. There's just no confidence, is there? No hope, and we need something. We need that win. If we can somehow get a win at home tomorrow, then that would be amazing. But I can't see it. But I think we just need something. I don't know what. Like you said, the more time on the coaching pitch it'll be good.
Yeah. He needs to get through this Christmas period as well, because there's no time on the training pitch. Yeah. We're not even halfway through yet. Tomorrow's game will be halfway.
Yeah, halfway. Yeah.
So there is plenty of time. Look at Leyton Orient. I know I would mention them even if we weren't playing them. Look at how they were. We kickstarted this run, but 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, whatever, decent results. Like you can, because this league is bizarre this season.
Yeah.
It's not panic stations at the minute. I think they've actually got Calderón at the right time. But again, Neil is right. I mean, he has to be able to do his job. He has to be able to do that. And I hope he does. He also strikes me as the type of person that wouldn't have taken the job if he was, listen, if in the football world, rumor spread very quickly. He would have said to them probably at some point, "Is this true?" And he probably would have set his line out of saying, "You can't do this with me." So I'm hoping he asked that question, and his representatives asked the question of upstairs interference. We have to let him. We have to, because no one would have been happy with the. And I'm sorry to bring him up, John Brady appointment. No one would have liked Kevin Nolan coming in. Like I was up for Nolan, but it would have been more moans than groans. Signing an unknown person shows a little bit of, come on then, let's actually go for this.
Yeah.
But he has to be allowed to do it. But it's not panic stations yet. 23 games to go. 24 games to go. Like, ask me again in April, and then I can give you a proper answer.
Yeah. That's the only thing that obviously you mentioned with teams going on these runs in Orient. That's the we haven't done that. I know. That's the only thing that worries me. Like the form over the last year and even longer, you could go on and say since we've come back into League One, it hasn't. Apart from the first season back in the first half of the season, we haven't seen any consistency whether it's been under Taylor or Barton, etc. But then, like you said, we haven't also won 3 games in a row for 2 or 3 years. So that also worries me. Where Orient, obviously we'll get into them, but it's mad. Harry saying false promises, got to let the gaffer have a say in who comes and who goes. Just before, I know you've done a little piece on this, Josh, on Twitter. But I want to get your thoughts first, and I'll get Neil's thoughts. How many positions do you think we need to upgrade on? Because that's the thing. A lot of people say, "Oh, you could easily say, oh, change the whole squad, 5 or 6 players." But obviously, we have to be not stupid here. We have to be, let the frustration calm down a bit and just be, what's the word? Be
composed.
Yeah, realistic. Composed and all that stuff, basically, because we're not going to be, and especially, a lot of players will be looking at us like, oh, do I really want to go, Rovers at the moment in that predicament? No. But realistically, how many positions do you think we need? And what positions?
So we need to be very clear now. A striker is not going to come in this window, surely, because you've got Omocheri, you've got O'Donker, and you've got Martin. You've got your record signing. You've got a good, in my opinion, on loan striker. I actually think O'Donker's done quite well. Martin as well as experienced head. I don't see a striker coming in. For me, I understand the left back shouts, but that wouldn't be my major concern, because you've got Mola who can play there. Let's not lie, he can. You've got Sousa. I think it's nailed on that Belongo's going in January on loan, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it would be more the right back position that stresses me out, because Jack Hunt has, chocolate ankles. He can't stay fit. Taylor Moore's proved he's not a right back or a right wing back. So I would be looking at a right back for me, so someone that can play under or instead of Joel Senior. We're obviously going to need a centre mid, because we know that Garrett's going to go. He's too good to not be playing. And I wouldn't mind a tidy little left winger. Now, I know we've got so many left wingers who can play in that spot. Hutchinson, Satiriou, Ford, Thomas, Sinclair. I get that. But I just think we need a little bit more firepower up front. And I think a left or right winger is easier to ascertain in the January transfer window than a striker. But I saw Dan Hargraves put out saying that we want a centre back and a centre mid. I wonder what's going to happen with Forbes. I actually quite like Forbes. I think he's all right. He opens up that play with his left foot by playing as the left centre back. But I don't know if West Ham will be overly happy with how little he's played. So
yeah,
for me, 2 or 3 signings, and I think we will get 2 or 3. Anyone thinking we're going to go and get 5 or 6 need to give your head a wobble, because that's also not good for it's not good for the side as well. So yeah, I'd be more concerned of right back over left back, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair enough. People saying striker, leader, midfielder, and a couple of defenders, hopefully with some leadership. Left back, centre mid, right back will be coming in. Yeah, for me, I'll get your thoughts on it, Neil. For me, I would go with a left back. Personally, I know obviously it's been, Hunt, it's been frustrating for him. Obviously, he's not been managed to stay fit. I rate Senior a lot. He's only recently just come back from a long injury out, but I do rate him a lot. I think he's definitely better as a wing back. He got the team of the season last year in League Two as a wing back. But yeah, I would go left back personally. I don't know what's gonna. Sousa could even go back. I know he's had that injury, but before I liked him, but yeah, even the Belongo seems to be better as a wing back rather than a left back. So I would go left back, a centre midfielder, probably someone more with a bit of strength and a bit of someone who can dominate.
Boston Lowell kind of vibe.
Yeah, something like that.
Go and get Osama Ashley. That's what I say.
Yeah, Ashley in. And I agree, a left winger or someone that can play both wings.
Yeah.
Left winger, someone with a bit of pace, but it's hard, to be honest. Quick comment here from Eric saying, Orient fan coming in peace. Satiriou has not been getting a game. He has failed to impress. He was decent for us. I believe you're better than many in the league and should be safe. Good luck. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a weird one because, like Josh mentioned, you look at last season, I think Satiriou got 12 in the league. Shaq got 9 in the league. A lot of players who we've got in the summer. That's why I was pretty, very happy with the team. But yeah, for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out. whether that's too many different changes, too many formations. I don't know, but it's been crazy. We built the team in the summer for the 3 at the back and then binned it off. Yeah, I know. Garrett. It's been a weird one. It's been a weird one with Garrett. It's been a mad one. But Neil, for you, what positions do you think we need, like, for you personally?
I mean, in an ideal world, not that I think it'll happen, but in an ideal world, I think you get both fullbacks, and then you look at the core of the pitch and you go centre half, centre midfield immediately. I don't think, although we've been horrendous previously in the final third, I think Calderón probably looks at what he's got there as far as personnel and thinks he can adapt that in the final third and get some out of that.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to be looking at that and thinking that's a major issue. Like I said, like I've said with Rovers for a long time now, as bad as we are in the final third, off the ball we're miles worse. We're miles worse off the ball, and I think what he needs to establish, what this side needs to establish is, and look, Conte's not the answer. He's not the answer to saving us from going down if it got to that point. But what I'm saying is, when you take him out of our side, forget about how good he is on the ball or what he gives you breaking up. There's no athleticism in that side. Once the ball gets turned over and broken down, we're all over the shop because we've got no legs in that side that can do what we need to do at League One to get a side that can turn us around quickly. So I think he needs to, being a continental coach, what he's going to want to find is a holding midfielder with a bit of grit that can also have good ball retention and make us progressive. Now, finding one of them in January that's willing to leave, that's playing well, like they cost a fortune. You try and find them at the elite level, they cost the world. So trying to find one's going to be hard work. So that is probably going to be an academy gem if you're going to find one like that. From what he's seen over the last 2 games, it's clearly highlighted that how he's going to want us to operate and how he's going to want us to play. Our fullbacks are miles off it. They can't do at the minute what he's going to ask of them because they're not technically gifted enough to do what they need to do out of the ball to get us progresses up the pitch by playing in the first third. And I think our centre halves need help. Now, I know we sit where we sit in the league and we've conceded a bucket load of goals, but if you throw enough shit at a wall, it will stick, and that's what's happened. They are just constantly under the pump, our centre halves. And like Mola's fallen off a cliff. He has recently. He has fallen right off a cliff, and he looked even worse in Calderón's first game because technically on the ball he's not that wonderful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can get about, he can recover, he can win headers, and he can do all the energetic stuff, and he can defend. But we're gonna be a side by the look of it under Calderón is gonna want to get it and move it, and we're not going to be a blood, guts and thunder side that turns a side round from fullback and tries to get up the pitch by bypassing the midfield. So I think he's got a lot of work to do as far as coaching, but as far as bringing personnel in, I probably think he's going to look at holding midfielder, centre half, and if he can get a fullback or two, one or the other, either side, then he'll look to do that.
Yeah. That's the thing. A lot of our defenders, especially because we seen that in the first 10 minutes. We looked pretty good, like we were playing it out. Although it looked a bit dodgy at times, we were trying to play it out. But yeah, a lot of them are not very good on the ball, not confident enough on the ball. So yeah, I completely agree with you. To be honest, it's tough in it at the moment. Another question here before we get into the Exeter and Stevenage game: what would you do with Kofi Shaw, Neil?
Leave him exactly where he is.
Yeah,
leave him exactly where he is. A 17-year-old boy playing in that league is not the answer to come and save this side. Leave him to go and be comfortable in an environment that he's happy, and then bring him back and take him all over the country and do what you need to do with him in pre-season. Leave that kid well alone.
Yeah, I completely agree. Josh, do you agree on that?
100%. Sorry, I'm just trying to put my phone on charge because leave Kofi Shaw the hell alone. Do not touch him. Do not bring him back. Also, for his career and his mental health, absolutely pointless to bring him back right now. He's 17 years of age. He's not going to save us, as much as people think. And he needs
that game time, doesn't he?
He needs alone. He needs that development. Leave him. And also as well, one thing I will say is, as I'm being attacked by the cat, he's doing well, but he's in the National League at Yeovil. He's not exactly putting up trees as well. Like he hasn't scored yet for them, so he's not shown enough that he's starting for the Rovers. I love Kofi. I think he's going to be brilliant, but just let him have some time, man. Don't rush him back.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I replied to something on Twitter the other day saying pretty much the exact same. Ben Gill as well. Yeah, 100%. Promise has led the line really well.
I agree. I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, he's been really good. He looks a totally different player, to be honest. Midfield needs to be braver if we're going to play out from the back. Yeah, 100%. Get some Spanish gems. Yeah, hopefully.
I tell you one player that I really do want is Cameron Pupion.
Oh yeah, the one from Brighton.
The Brighton guy that is on loan at Cheltenham, the Australian boy.
Yeah.
Go and grab him, mate. Is he Australian or New Zealand? I can't remember.
One of them. Yeah.
One of they. For me, he would be unbelievable. He's 22 years of age, still playing academy football. He played 11 games for Cheltenham, whatever. It didn't quite work out there, but for me, I would be bringing him in if I could. For me, I would be trying to bring him in, and someone like an Osama Ashley or even Matthew Craig. Barnsley boy is not working out there so get him on loan from Spurs to us.
He would be good. He's one that is good playing out. He's confident on the ball as well.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of people saying about don't bring, don't bring him back to this shit show. Basically, everyone's saying, which I completely agree with. But yeah, let's go on to Exeter. Obviously, I predicted a win. I think Josh and Neil went with a draw. First half wasn't good at all. It was boring. It was pretty much Exeter anyway. They were lucky not to be 1 or 2-0 up, hit the post. Few chances went wide. But then second half, played the best we played going forward all season. Went 1-0 up through promise. I was confident when we went 1-0 up, the way we were playing. But then, that game just summed us up. Obviously, the officiating was a shambles, but we still had enough chances to win that game. And unfortunately, we didn't take them. Keeper was good, didn't take them. And then defending up the other end was a shambles. Neil, what did you make of that Exeter game? I know you said a draw, but were you confident when we went 1-0 up, like the way we were playing? Or did you just think, I can't be confident, it's Rovers at the moment?
Yeah, you'd be foolish to be confident, wouldn't you? But immediately I was surprised with the way Horseman went with it, because he just went completely the other way and just
strongest team, wasn't it?
I thought he was going to in one respect, as far as an attacking lineup,
attacking team,
it depends how you view it. I don't particularly see it like that, but I was never confident we was going to win the game, because you know what this side's about. But if I'm Calderón in a box watching that, and if I'm George Friend next to him, I'm thinking that game there is perfect for him to watch. That is Rovers all over that game. That is exactly what he needs to see, because that shows us exactly how fragile and terrible we are in transition of the football in the middle of the pitch. But it also shows that there's a glimmer where there's a pattern where we can create chances with lads in this final third. There is a way we can get at sides if you use them correctly, and if patterns are set up to play in a certain manner. However, going the other way, like I said, we're incredibly fragile. We're not desperately athletic as a side. And when sides can turn the ball over in the middle of the pitch, we're bang in trouble. So as far as Calderón watching a game, if I'm George Friend or I'm anyone in that board, I'm going, that's the ideal. That is what you need to see. That game and how that went is exactly what he needs to see as far as what this side are. So yeah. I didn't have a problem with the end of the game. Yeah, we got beat. We got beat in a manner that is not alien to us. We've seen it time and time again, and I think it's good for Calderón to see it with his own eyes. Yeah,
it's so annoyed me. So just all three of those goals, like you said, it just all of them was even the last. Like some people were saying, oh yeah, it was a counter-attacking goal, but like Griffiths come out, the worst kick I've ever seen. It goes straight to him. All of them were appalling goals. Yeah, from Mola weak on the set piece, and then Taylor Moore. I don't know why Ali, their best player, had so much time on the ball to turn, and it was ridiculous to be honest. We've gone about Coots all the time, especially Neil. But we missed someone like that massively. Took all the pace out of the team with the subs. Yeah, that was the only problem. When at the time when we were winning, I was thinking, oh, can we keep this up? Because that was our strongest attacking team. A lot of us, I think, wanted that because it was pretty much the same team that ended the Wrexham game, wasn't it? Going into the Exeter game, and when you're there and you think, oh, these players ain't going to last forever, especially with a game 3 days later. And then, the subs bench, we were. So there was that chance from Sinclair as well, which I still, I couldn't even get it on target. But like you said, it sums us up that game. Josh, what did you make of that game? Just more frustration. And if any game could sum up Rovers, like Neil said, it would be that game.
The Exeter game?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's how have we not come away with anything with the amount of we scored 2 offside goals. Sinclair, I do not know, by the way, how we missed that. That's like max fixing levels of like poor misses, like horrendous. I will echo what Ben has been saying for a while. Promise has led the line very well for the last 3 games. I've been really impressed. I actually think, and this is just off the cuff, I haven't checked this, but he got 6 goals, 3 assists maybe last season or something like that. He's got 4 and 3 now, so he's
4 goals, 3 assists. Yeah,
he's pretty much leveled what he did last season at Fleetwood. He is improving.
Yeah.
Anyone else, I think as well, has just been a bit pants, and I think that Exeter game going forward was a bit like, hang on a minute, like they look like and yet we still come away with nothing. The couple of I don't know how we didn't get a pen, all that sort of stuff. It was a lot of kind of went against us, I suppose. We showed good moments going forward, and I think that Calderón will look at that and think, do you know what? Actually, we can turn it on when we want to. We can turn it on, but the individual errors at the back. I just like...
Yeah, it's stupid.
We talk about James Wilson being the best player this season, and Mola and Taylor and Moore, and it's like if they're starting to have bad games now, it's just... It's really, really quite... It was when they equalised, my dad, because I was at my dad's for Boxing Day, Dad said, oh, it's Exeter 1-1. I said, of course it is.
You know what? I knew.
Of course it is.
I knew when they someone, whoever I can't remember who even I was with now during that game in the away end, but someone was that Fitzwater, the one that scored, he went down injured, and everyone was like, oh, and then a minute later he goes at the other end and scores. I was like, this is
classic Rovers. And I know we're going to get to the Stevenage game in a minute, but when Lindsay got sent off, I said in my brain, it's going to be 2-0 now.
We
can't contain that for some reason.
It's always been like it, though.
We are weak. We are lethargic. We are calamitous individually and laughable collectively. And that Exeter game, you get a glimmer of hope thinking, hang on a minute, like this. And then it's of course we lost that game. Of course we did.
It's stupid. But then the exit, it was just so annoying. But keep hitting the like button as well. Keep hitting your comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Keep getting your questions. Obviously, we'll get on to Orient and Cambridge very shortly. But yeah, going on to Stevenage game. Wow. Yeah, for some reason, I was like, because I remember the last episode, I think we all went for defeats. Neil was like spot on. I think we all agreed on the defeat at the time. But I think me and Josh went 2-1 Stevenage, and Neil went 2-0 Stevenage. Neil was like, we're gonna get old man out strength, and that's exactly what happened. And me and Josh pretty much agreed and was like, yeah, we'll lose. But then for some stupid reason, when I was on the way up there, I was like, you know what, Calderón's first game, we're gonna win it. So me and Josh did the same. We both said 2-1 Gas in the end.
Yeah, but... we text each other, don't we, on match days quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we were both echoing, hang on a minute here. We showed enough at Exeter that we can score goals. In Stevenage, they don't score goals unless it's from a set piece, or apparently unless Wilson jogs back because he thinks he's offside. But I had a good feeling, mate, and it just was, yeah.
Yeah, I knew we were going to struggle. I knew it was going to be a hard game anyway, of course. But when Conte was not in the team, I heard just before that he wasn't in the team. I was like, oh, here we go. And then, yeah, there was 2 changes. Sinclair came in at left wing. Thomas went to the bench, and Maka came in for Conte. And yeah, when I seen the midfield, just having no anchor there, and just
no bite,
nothing really. And then annoying thing is we started well, but then after 10-15 minutes, it just all went downhill. Instead of playing it out from the back, everyone was just losing the ball, gifting the ball away. Mola and Senior were getting cooked every time. List down Senior's side, Jordan Roberts down Mola's side. And then it summed it up. Again, just summed it up where Promise gets injured, goes down, and Stevenage could play on. I said it. Most of you have seen my reaction. That was one of the most annoyed I've been. But then Mola should have just kicked it out, and he didn't, and he just gave it to him. Awful goal. Then the second one goes in, then the red card, and then the third one goes in. Then I was off out. As soon as that third goal went in, I was like, yeah, I'm done. But yeah, the best thing. Yeah, shout out to Ben. I went up with him and Beck. The best thing, was the tunes. Apart from that, the game was shocking. And yeah, it was just awful, so frustrating. One of the most lowest I've felt this season, I think. And there's been some awful games this season, and most of you have seen it in my reaction. I was just like, I didn't even want to do it.
Funny.
I was so funny. I was so done. But
I had so if any of you don't know in the chat, I'm a mental health first aid trainer, so I do all that stuff. And I had so many people who know my job were saying, you might want to check on Charlie, mate. And I was like, what are they on about? I woke up the next morning and watched your reaction video. I was creasing. It was, you were, I thought you were going to cry. At one point you went,
honestly, I nearly did.
I'm back from the game.
It did run down my face, you know.
You went like this. I'm back from the game. And I thought, I said, don't cry on camera.
It nearly did. It nearly happened. It was emotional talking about that.
Fuming.
Yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, Neil, you pretty much hit the nail on the spot when you said we're going to get outmanned and out strength, and that's exactly what happened. Stevenage, all they had to do, I say all they had to do, we didn't do it, is do the basics, win the first and second contacts, and don't give away stupid goals. And they took the chances. They could have had more. But yeah, you were completely spot on. Thoughts on watching that game?
Yeah, it sort of went how I expected it to go. Like, I didn't expect us to go down to 10 men, but how the game sort of played out, like they're never gonna throw a curveball at you, Stevenage. Like, this is what we do. Can you deal with it? And I knew no, we can't. We've shown for half a season we can't deal with that level of aggression. So there was no secrets, and they didn't do anything unexpected. Them lads would have been expecting. They just can't stand up to it. I think you look at someone like Dan Phillips. He's licking his lips in the middle of that midfield. Absolutely licking his lips in the middle of that. There's no one can come close to him. No one can touch him. That was his domain. He owned the middle of that pitch all game because of how that game played out. The fact that it wasn't technically wonderful that it was going to bypass him. Yeah. It was just going to be all physical and aggression. And who's going to win that battle in there? He's all day long. He was, especially with Conte not even biting around him. He was going to win all day long. And then, look, the Lindsay thing. They're 2 fouls, but neither of them are bookings. They're 2 fouls, but neither of them are bookings. Like,
that first one. That first one was a dive.
Some referees need to understand that. Like, that's what I mean. Like, not every foul is a booking. Like,
it's a contact sport, isn't it?
Like, not every foul's a booking. So, and the second one, I know he's on a yellow, but you can't not ask your centre midfielder to make that challenge. He has to try. Like, he's not lunged at him or gone late. He's just, the bloke's just nicked it past him. It's unfortunate. But even then, I'm still saying to him, if they go on and get an attack out of it, he still has to make that challenge, because the challenge is not a booking regardless, even if you're on one. So I thought he was hard done by them. But look, that's tip of the iceberg stuff with Rovers, isn't it? I mean, the first goal, I know we've talked about Mola, but given what we've got in place now as far as a manager, my thought process on it would have been that probably kicking it out is probably sacrilege. You've got to keep playing. You've got to try and play. And he's going to beat this drum into these lads. You can either do it or you can't. Then he ain't going to waver and go, oh no, do something else. Collateral damage, just boot it out. He ain't cut from that cloth, Calderón. He ain't gonna. These players are either going to be able to do the technical stuff or the end, and he's not going to waver on it. I don't think he's going to be like, you're either good enough or you ain't, and you're going to show me whether you can or you can't. And that wasn't a great advert, Sunday for a lot of them lads. But the delivery for the first goal was A1. You couldn't get it was top draw. Like, it's taken Connor Taylor completely out of the picture. Connor Taylor's not done a lot wrong there as far as getting himself into a position of where you'd want a centre half to be who is spare. It's just that Senior's not got a prayer of getting anywhere close to him as far as, again, aggression and physicality. Didn't come close to touching him. And then, so we're 1-0 down. The second one...
It's appalling. It's appalling.
You wouldn't see that on the Downs.
No.
I haven't got a problem with Willow. Willow's won the first contact. He's done what he can with it as a move in, and he's spare as picking up the initial contact. But then you've got to rely on your teammates to come and do better. And the fact that our ball is dropped between Connor Taylor and Promise, it's not like it's dropped between like Harry Vaughan and like someone else like we had last season. It's dropped between 2 lumps, and neither of them have done anything. And then it's fallen on the plate. But that sums us up. Like I said, I think he was pretty diplomatic in his interview after the game, but he's looked at that and gone, like, the fairest thing to say is we've got to work on everything, because there's like I said before, we're not good at anything. There's not an element of our game that we're good at that we can say, do you know what, we can take this into a game and run with it.
At everything.
We're not good at anything. So like, and then we're going to go into a game tomorrow where Wellens is rubbing his hands together. He'll have 3-4 different patterns he can play against this. 3 or 4 different patterns that he can get his sides to manipulate this game. So yeah, it's gonna be difficult. And Calderon's got no time on the grass with these lads. Absolutely, he's got no time. He's had recovery yesterday. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, there ain't much.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a slog, because he's going to tell these lads to play. He's going to want these lads to play, and if they can't do it, you're going to. I think it's going to be painful viewing, because you're going to see a lot of errors from this team, because he is going to want them to do things that he expects from his side, and if the personnel can't do it, the personnel needs to be changed. Bloke's been brought in to present a style of play and the way that they want Bristol Rovers to act on the pitch to get results. He ain't going to change. Like, he ain't going to suddenly go, do you know what? I need to go like 1990s British coach to try and get that.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna
Otherwise,
be
they would have brought someone else in. Yeah.
These players have got to step up to do what he expects them to do, and if they can't do it, then there's a conversation to be had with the board to say, look, we've got dead wood here, and you've put them on 3 and 4 year deals. What are we going to do?
Yeah, that's the main, obviously, bad bit of the different way we've gone this season. Obviously, a lot of the time, you look at most League One, even Championship clubs and etc. They like a 2 year deal really, and maybe a +1 on top. But now, because we're in this situation, Calderón might come in and say, he might have already said, so and so, so and so, and so and so are not it, and we need them to leave the club, or they're not in my plans. And then you're thinking, oh, what are they going to do? They're going to go on like a few loans or whatever. But that's the other thing, isn't it? Like you said, you could see a lot of them, especially defender wise, a lot of them can't pass out from the back. Like we've seen it a lot of this season where the mistakes.
This is where he's going to earn his money. Can he coach these lads to get this done, or can't he? He's got half a season to get to a summer to say like these are either at it or they're not. But then again, that's a conversation you've got to have with George Friend and say, look, I've come to the club. We've had conversations long before I signed the deal. I can only work with what I can work with. And if I'm looking at something and saying you've made an error here as far as technical ability, as far as how we want to play, again, that's a difficult conversation to have. But if you look at his press conference when he first came in, George Friend looked like he had a gun to his head the way he was talking. He couldn't stop talking about that board, could he? He had no reason to mention him. Absolutely, he wasn't triggered. He wasn't asked. He had no reason to bring them up. Couldn't say enough how good they were, was he? It's like someone was behind the camera with an AK at him.
Yeah.
I also think it could be the other way of not taking accountability himself by saying the board want, it's like he didn't want to claim up and own up saying that, he's signed players that aren't performing or.
Yeah. Because that's the thing after that game. As soon as that game finished, I got in the car and I was looking, like, that's what I see. Like everyone was, a lot of people were fuming with that. But to be fair, I'll have to watch the whole. I still haven't watched the whole thing yet. But if it's like that, I've seen parts of it, and I agree with you. It's almost like he's there, like, and there's someone behind the camera thinking like you have to say this or what. Like it's mad, but
he had no reason to mention it. Had no reason.
Once.
Didn't need to bring it up.
Not once. Yeah.
For some reason, sat there, shaking like a shitting dog, thinking that I better say this. Like, why? Absolutely no reason to.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, that's the thing as well. Obviously, it's his first season doing this job in it as well. So he's sort of there learning on the job, and I
think you'll see in January what sort of caliber of player and where they come from and the profile of who they are, what sort of input Calderón does have into this conversation regarding recruitment.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I mean. Like you said, and like we've all said, he needs, if he's there coming into a job and he, doesn't like certain players, or if he likes certain things done, and in a way, obviously, you sort of have to forget a little. And I'm not saying there's going to be, and we know there isn't going to be loads of money spent, and there's not going to be 5 or 6 players coming in, but whatever players that he wants or tries to get, or whatever players that he wants to leave the club and it's not in his plans, it needs to happen. Like you said, we both said he's now the head coach, not manager. He's now the head coach, but whatever he wants, and whatever he desires to get in or to get out of the door needs to happen. We can't be having any of this stuff like going in. It's around the corner, isn't it? Like whatever needs to happen.
You can't. There needs to be some form of professional dialogue between them to say, look, obviously this is the structure, this is the plan, this is who we've outlined. He needs to have some sort of conversation to bring his own views and ideas to the table. I'm not saying he's like Calderón's the man that has to pick and choose and oversee every single player that comes into the football club, because that's not progressive as far as a man on a 2.5 year deal. But then he needs to have input. We can't have a cat and mouse situation by someone turns up Monday going, oh, he's here, deal with him. Like that can't happen.
He went whoop whoop.
Yeah.
You can't just say like with Taylor, like, oh, cat and mouse here, deal with him. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, it's mental.
He's steering this ship.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah, I'll be saying centre mid is our biggest issue. I'm surprised Calderón hasn't been allowed to bring any of his. Yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Whereas, look
out for that. Look out for that.
Yeah, that's another one. I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
Obviously, Horseman's still there. Kevin Bondy's back for like the third or fourth time, which is a madness.
It's like he hadn't left. He's just been living in the back.
If you talk about Calderón having a job on his hand, then Bondy's got 1.5 to try and turn this round at the back end of the pitch, try and get these lads on side. But
agreed.
Not even that getting them on side, really. That's the wrong term. But just to try and make them operate a bit better than, because like I said, they're scrambling. Once that ball gets turned over and they've got players running at them, they are scrambling. But that's down to the level of protection in front of them. Like, you can't just batter these centre halves. You can't just go in on these centre halves and go, he's shit, he ain't good enough. The level of protection, the level of protection that's gone on in front of them has been appalling. And like, look at the way we were talking in the first 5 games of this season. Granted, we had the ball pulled over our eyes, but that looked like the best part of our game, like being defensively structured, narrow, solid. Yeah, rode our luck in a few games, but that looked like we were going to under Taylor. We looked like in the first 5 games we were going to be them side that was gritty and hard to beat. We are miles off of that now.
But that's why I find it so frustrating, because I agree with you. Don't go in on these centre halves, because the reason I find it so frustrating is because they are good players. Like, they are decent, and that's why it's so frustrating to see that we're so bad. Because hang on a minute, you can't just fall off a cliff, surely. But
I think you look at players like, I know he's not been in the side, but Hunt, Taylor, Wilson, to an extent Martin. When they came to the club, they didn't sign up for this. This isn't what they signed up for. Connor Taylor, especially, was re-signed to the club, and he was going to come into what he knew, Joey's environment, that level of operating, the way we work, and then that's been spun on his head. And what he's coming into work now, he's probably thinking, this ain't what I didn't sign up for any of this. This isn't what I expected. And his career he's just treaded water ever since. He expected to come in and his progression be linear under a certain format of management and a football club that he enjoyed coming into and operating in a certain environment. Been turned on its head.
Yeah, 100%. Sort of it. Shout out to Marco as well. Whether he brings in players or coaches or not, we've got to start having shots. We need more shots. Yeah, because we had a lot against Exeter, but then it just went back to the same, really. But yeah, we'll get into Orient now. We're not going to spend too much time on this. I know we're nearly coming up to an hour now, but quickly talk about Orient and then talk about Cambridge. Those on the next 2 games. Obviously, Orient, went to that game. Absolute. I think we've had some bad performances, but that for me, and I think for most Rovers fans, that was the worst performance I've seen in a very, 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 very long time. Since they've played us, they scored 16 goals. They've kept 7 clean sheets in a row. They've gone from being, I think, 4 points below us and 22nd in the league to now they're 10th and 5 points off the playoffs. Beat the last 5 games, won 2-0 against Cambridge. Funny enough, obviously, both of the teams were playing. Beat Crawley 3-0, beat Barnsley 4-0 away, drew 0-0 with Burton, and then they beat Wigan 2-0 away. So yeah, they're on a mad amount of confidence. It's gonna be tough. I'm still getting flashbacks of that game right now. That was, like I said, that is to be there, and it was shambolic. Shambolic. Neil, quick thoughts going into Orient, and then we'll get Josh's thoughts, then we'll do our lineups and score predictions.
Yeah, I mean, I said earlier about British coaches, etc., and that they get bypassed by continental coaches in all leagues now. But if you was to highlight one or a few, Wellens is well up there. He's well thought of within like football fraternity across all leagues, and the way he operates, and he's sort of ahead of the curve when he goes. And ultimately, he's got the keys at Orient. They're going to let him do exactly what he wants, and because he's going so well. And when they were lingering down there, no one had any concerns about Orient. Nobody. We all knew. We all knew that they get going again because he's that bloke. He's that good. Yeah, I think this is going to be a real uphill task. Now I can see visions of, always go back to like the benchmark of when I remember watching Rovers get just past to death, and when we played Swindon at home in League Two.
Yeah.
And we did not have couldn't get close to them. And I've got a horrible feeling that they're going to pass us to death. And I think they'll drag us in, they'll turn us round, they'll spin us round corners, they'll come back in, they'll draw us out from playing round the back of that horseshoe, pop it into midfield, go back out the other side. I think, like I said, Wellens will have 3 or 4 aces up his sleeve of how he can get at this side. And I think it'll be a long day for us.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, Philip Green, thanks for tuning in. As an O's fan, you cannot be any worse than you were. Trust me, we can.
We can.
Trust me, we've had God knows how many games throughout this year and last year, and yeah, I'm hoping it won't get any worse, because if we have another defeat that's as bad as that or even worse tomorrow at home, like Calderón's first game, I'm sure, I don't even know about. You'd think New Year's Day, let's get the fans there and stuff, but to be honest with you, it's gonna be. I don't think that many people there after the last few games. Just people not having any hope. There's no hope. There's no faith. It's just been poor. So yeah, we can be worse, but I'm hoping we're not worse. Josh, quick thoughts of Orient.
So just to clarify my thoughts on Stevenage, we were absolutely horrendous, terrible. We were made to look weak and completely off it. Leyton Orient, I think that we're going to be made to look daft.
Like we were in the away game.
We're not going to get out-muscled, etc., but it's going to be a death by 1,000 passes, intricate little plays. It will be nutmegs galore, shots on goal, patterns of play. We're going to be, I fear, we're going to be made to look like we have absolutely no clue. Headless chickens, players falling over. I reckon we're going to get sliced through like butter. And I reckon it's going to be, like Neil said, a long, long old day.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll get into our lineups. Obviously, at the moment, we don't know if Conte's going to be back. Obviously, that's the weird thing at the moment. So I guess we'll just go off the back of the fact that we don't know if Conte's back. So if he's not back, then it's going to be a really, really long day. If Conte is back, then it'll still be a long day. Because also, don't forget, he missed that game as well.
Yeah, he can't do it all on his own.
Yeah, he can't.
And I hear people saying, "Oh, Conte's not that important. He's not that good."
He is. He's one of our most important players.
He's so integral to us.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Neil, starting with your lineup, what are you going for tomorrow?
I'm gonna go Griffiths in goal. I'll go a back. He's got to go with a 4, isn't he? So I'll go Belongo at left back. I'll go Sousa at right back. Wilson and Taylor centre half. 3 in the middle of Ward, Conter, and is Lindsay suspended?
Yeah,
Lindsay. Yeah, 1 game he's suspended for.
Maka.
Midfield's going to be a shambles.
Yeah, Ward, Conte, and Maka to start, and then I'll go with a front 3 of Omocheri through the middle, Thomas one side, Satiri the other. I think he just needs to, as far as a new coach coming in and putting a message out to his players, he's got to look at everyone. He has to give these lads and go, look, I've seen what I've seen. You've played. I'm going to get, here's your floor. Show me what you're about. And I just think he needs to have a look at lads under the pretense that we're going up against Orient. We're going to be massive underdogs. He'll know all about Wellens, Orient, how they play, etc. He's not daft. He ain't gonna be alien to him. But he's got to be able to go to these players at some point and go, this is the reason why. This is the reason why. And you've got to give him a crack of the whip then. So I think he needs to look at as many of these lads as he can, and then give them an example of why they're in and why they're not afterwards.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, Dan Aji or Dan Ajayi, he was ridiculous. That game, I don't think he scored in the game at Brisbane Road, but he was ridiculous. And yeah, like you said, he's been on fire. He give Taylor and Wilson an absolute hell of a game. Like, that's probably one of the best players I've seen this season. He was ridiculous. Pace for a small guy, the pace and the strength. Ridiculous. Yeah, Ben Dow also agreeing. So yeah, that's what I mean. I agree with Neil. Like, you need to, for how bad maybe some of them are, or have been, or the poor run of form, or confidence, or it's not worked out for them. Yeah, he needs to look at all of them. Josh, what would be your lineup?
Griffiths in goal, senior right back, Taylor and Wilson in the middle, Sousa on the left, Conte and Ward in the midfield.
Do you think he'll play?
I have absolutely no idea. I found out that he was injured before the game, hence my tweet last time, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything this time. I can try and find out. I would go Thomas on the left. I was going with Hutch in the 10, Ford on the right, Promise up top, but I quite like the idea of Sotirio being given a shout, but I don't really know who I would bring him out for, because I think Hutchinson's been playing well. Thomas needs a go, and Ford's always dangerous. I'll keep Sotirio on the bench, but I wouldn't mind seeing him because it's his old side. He's going to want a point to prove. You know, they're probably thinking, why the hell have you left this, mate?
Yeah, because he got him, especially Sotirio, got so much shit as
Pelters,
well. Like Ford,
absolute pelters.
Yeah, Ford. They didn't really, because he was only a lone player for them. But Sotirio, because of the fact that, you know, Wellens come out and saying, "Oh, more money," and like, he got so much, like, jeered to hell. And he started that game as well. He didn't really get in the game, to be honest. Didn't really, but yes, but yeah. So yeah,
maybe I wouldn't start him because they probably know how to play against him. I don't know. There we go. Let's say I put him on the bench there, 100%.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Philip said maybe Ford and Rule get in. Hope the ex-player. They are both very effective in a high press. Yeah, because that's what Calderon's going to want. What's that? The rumour was that Rule was on $7,000 a week. No chance. Surely not. He can't be on 7K at Rovers. 7K.
I can't see that, but you can look online, can't you? You can look online. It's out there.
Yeah, but surely not. He can't be on 7K.
I don't see that.
God, I cannot see that.
That's like JCH levels.
Yeah, innit? Yeah, I know it sounds unbelievable. Yeah, for me, Griffiths in goal. I would go with senior right back, Wilson and Taylor centre back, Sousa left back. Because of the fact that I don't know, you know, obviously if Conte's fit, you play him, but I'm going on the base on the terms at the moment that he isn't fit. So I would probably go with
Ward and Garrett. That's what you're going with. I can sense it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I could feel it coming.
I don't. Macca's not like a flat centre mid. He's a 10 or that's it. And same as Hutchinson can play there, but I think he's more better in the advanced position. So I would go Garrett and Grant Ward, but obviously start Conte if he's fit. On the right, I would go with Shaq. On the left, Thomas. Number 10, I would go with Hutchinson, and then up front, Promise Omachuri. Lineups then. Don't forget to leave your lineups in the comments. Of course, if you don't leave them in the live comments, then make sure you leave your Orient predictions and your Cambridge prediction. Don't forget as well, because we'll get into that in a minute. We won't spend too much time because I know we've already been going nearly an hour and 10, so 5 more minutes and we'll finish. But we won't be doing another episode until after Cambridge. So make sure you get your Cambridge predictions in the comments afterwards as well. So you keep within that prediction. Neil, I'll go with you first. Score prediction for Orient.
I'll go reserved with 2-0.
2-0 Orient. Yeah, Ben Darrell's already put that as well. Harry saying was Orient's top goal scorer and we paid 40% more. So it could be true. I can't see that though. $7,000 a week. Surely not. Never. But yeah, also we've got Chris Collier going 4-1 Orient, Shaq to score. Yusuf going 3-0 Orient. Josh, score prediction?
3-1. 3-1 Leyton Orient.
3-1. Who do you think scoring for us?
I'll go to big man himself, Promise. Listen, a couple of weeks ago, people were, talking about him and why have we, I will say this now. I actually really like him a lot. I really like what he brings to the side. That Wrexham performance, I thought he was fantastic. I really like Omacheri, and I will die on this hill. I actually think he is really, really good, and the numbers don't reflect how good he is. I think he'll score 3-1 Leyton Orient. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year as well. Yeah,
and it's also as well. Just FYI, I'll probably get done for child abuse for this, but it's my little boy's first game tomorrow.
Yeah, first game as well. So
he's only 16 months old, so he's got his little ear defenders. Obviously, you're coming for the lunch as well, so it'll be his first game. So I'm more excited for that to see Rio enjoy the lights and all that stuff, and that'll be a lovely moment. But for the game itself, it's going to be miserable in it. Let's not lie.
Yeah, I'm not.
My lads was Rovers 2, Fleetwood 2, last minute, and that what was that gobshite that scored 2 for Fleetwood. Run his mouth all the time.
COD Army.
What was his name? God. The lad who run his mouth all the time, a Scottish lad, or the lad who played in Scotland.
Oh yeah, the wing back. Oh, what's his? The one with the is it
Rooney? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Shane Rooney.
Rooney.
Yeah, Rooney.
He got sent off, didn't he, as well, against us last season, I swear. Did he get sent off at some point against us?
I can't remember. He's back up in Scotland now, isn't he?
Sean Rooney?
Yeah, Sean Rooney, yeah.
Yeah, that's his name, yeah. Absolute shit house.
Yeah, what an absolute idiot. Eric Baker's gone 2-1 Orient. Tom Butler 1-1 Orient. Chris Soman 3-0 Orient. Chris Hall has gone 3-2 Orient. My prediction is I'll go 4-2. No, not 4-2. Sorry, not 4-2. I'll go 2-1 Orient. 2-1.
God, that's a massive change.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna go for loads of goals, but now because the New Year's Day and there's some madness that goes on. But yeah, I'll go 2-1 Orient. A new manager bounce 1-0 Gas on the cherry. Love that, Marco. 2-1 Gas says Harry Jenkins. I think that's the second win. In my opinion, if you guys sit back, it'll be a tough task. Most teams who operate a high press causes us problems. Good luck for tomorrow. Yeah, appreciate you tuning in. Good luck. Good luck for after tomorrow. But Happy New Year to you as well. It's Orient so you can win. Happy New Year to you all. Have a good night. Absolutely. Let's quickly get into Cambridge very quickly. Like I said, we're going to touch on this and then we're going to end it. I know it's been a bit of a long one, but there's been so much to talk about as well. And yeah, Jake, thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year to you as well, mate. Sure we'll see you soon. I don't even know when we play you, but yeah, Happy New Year to you as well, Jake, as well. Keep up the quality work. I need to watch that back, actually, the Nappers and Jake's last episode. I need to, see what you two after. And obviously we both loved it, innit, Jake? Because you lost 3-0 to Bolton and we lost 3-0 to Stevenage. So there we go.
Nah, Jake's a legend, man. I love it. He rivals a load of Rovers fans. It's so funny.
Yeah,
we talk
he loves it.
It's so funny. He loves the gas, really.
Yeah, he does.
Happy New Year, Jake.
Yeah, he loves it, to be fair. But yeah, let's quickly get on to Cambridge. Obviously, this is before they've played tomorrow. They're currently 22nd place, 5 points off Rovers. So for how awful Cambridge have been, they're only 5 points off us. I mean, to be fair, we've been awful as well. So I'm not surprised we're close to them. They've got 1 win in 12, and we've got 1 win in 10. So there you go. 2 teams doing awful. Lost 2-0 to Orient their last game. Lost 2-1 to Charlton. Lost 4-0 to Huddersfield. Drew 2-2 away to Wrexham. and then they won 4-1 against Shrewsbury. So again, they're probably one of the worst teams I've seen, but this season. But they're only 5 points above us, and again, giving me flashbacks to last year. Going there, one of the most awful performances I've seen. What was it? 2-0 won it, I think. Quite an early goal in the second half and then a late goal to make it 2-0 for them. But yeah, not really looking forward to it. I'm going up. Shout out to Ben Gill in the comments. I'm going up with him. And yeah, we're staying over because I do not want to leave at 6, 7 a.m. for an early game, obviously early kickoff as well. So I'm staying over on the Friday night. But yeah, not looking forward to it, to be honest. For how poor they were, and obviously won 2-0 on a cherry brace. I'm not looking forward to that. I think that's one of those teams where you don't really want to be playing because they can just frustrate, and it just gives me flashbacks from last year. Neil, thoughts going into Cambridge?
I think you look at it as a don't lose, to be honest. I think it's one of them where I don't think, like I said, we've got ages of season left. It's not the be all and end all, whatever happens, to be honest. What you want is a performance, first and foremost, especially at Cambridge, because they're another side that will play on a narrow pitch and they'll try and bombard you with diags if you let them. I mean, they've done it to us before and got a result with a side that's better than this. So, yeah, I just think you're looking for a performance first and foremost. But if you give me 1-1 now, I'd take it, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, Josh, your thoughts on Cambridge?
I think that we will win that game, actually. I reckon we'll win it around about 2-1, 2-1, 3-2, 1-0, whatever. I think we will nick that game. But yeah, it's not panic stations if we don't. But it's not panic stations if we don't, but it's embarrassing as well, let's be honest.
Yeah. But it does get a little bit dodgy, especially when they're sort of gaining more points on us, and then it's just a little bit. It's one of those. But so yeah, Neil, what are you going for, Neil? Are you going for a draw?
Oh, I'll go 1-1. I'll say we'll score a goal from somewhere or another. OG or something.
You're going for 1-1. Josh, what are you gonna go with?
2-1. 2-1 gas.
2-1 gas. So yeah, Chris has gone for 2-1 as well. Happy New Year to you, Josh, as well. Gordo 2-1 gas. Jake saying appreciate the love. Off our enter town to get pissed and forget about the football. Many wishes for 2025. Looking forward to seeing you all up the imps. Yeah, I love it, Jake.
I love Jake, man.
Yeah, he loves it. Cambridge to win 2-1. Happy New Year anyway. Let's hope for a better year for the gas. Absolutely. 1-0 Cambridge. Ben Dowell's gone 0-0. Ben Gills, I'll take 0-0 now. Lofty own goal. Yeah, I don't even know if he's fit or not, but I'm going to go for. Do you know what? 1-0. I think we'll edge it 1-0. So there we go. That's our predictions for Cambridge, and of course we've done our predictions for the Orient game. So yeah, thanks to everyone that has watched this episode. Of course, if you're watching it later on the replay, then make sure you leave your predictions in the comments. Leave them for both Orient and Cambridge. So yeah, like I said at the start, thanks to everyone for the amazing support you've shown on the channel, for the videos, for the live episodes of the pod. Really do appreciate it. Thanks to Josh and Neil for being a part of it. As always, thanks to you guys in the comments as well. Let's pray and hope to the Lord himself that 2025 is so much better. Surely it can't get any worse. But yeah, Happy New Year to you all.
One thing I will say as well, just to echo everyone in the chat, just a thank you to you, Charlie, as well. You do a lot behind the scenes of everything, setting all this stuff up and all your, multiple accounts and stuff. You work incredibly hard, and, you help to bring fans and club closer together. So a massive well done to you for this year as well, mate, because you've come on leaps and bounds. So there we go.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, appreciate it. Well, same to you as well. Same to you. You smashed it as well.
And love you, Neil, as well. Sorry, love you, Neil.
Yeah, I don't really give a toss about any of that stuff. But yeah, oh well, lads.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And yeah, I'll be back with hopefully a more positive reaction on New Year's Day tomorrow, of course. But yeah, have a good one tonight. Don't get too drunk.
Well. I'm doing a vlog.
Yeah, the vlogs will be back from Josh as well. I should be in there as well. And yeah, we'll see you in 2025. Up the gas.
Happy New Year, everyone. Up the gas.
Happy New Year.